Okay, so we had discussed cash and liquidity management. Two sessions of the same has been completed. Today, we are going to try to complete this session, this respective chapter. Till now, we had seen the motives for holding cash, why people hold cash on hand, what is cash budget, how discipline payments method is being used to prepare a cash budget, what are the items that are being taken into consideration for preparing a cash budget. This is an example of cash receipts. This is an example of cash payment. And when these two comes together, your entire cash budget is being prepared, right? So we had seen up this yesterday. We discussed what is long-term cash forecasting, how it is being forecasted. It's a net income method in which you are talking about your cash inflow comes from net income after taxes and all. So surplus or deficit is being added to the opening cash balance and you come to a closing cash balance. These are the various reports that are being used to control your cash budget, cash need on a day-to-day basis. Cash collection and disbursement. We discussed about float. Float is the difference between the ledger, cash ledger and the bank ledger, whereas net float is the difference between collection float and disbursement float. Talking about cash collections, why it is very much important and why do we need to speed up our collections. So your cash cycle is going to get lesser durations, will be of lesser durations. If you are speeding up, if your collections are coming too late, the duration is too high, that will put you in cash crunch also. So you cannot be able to complete your day-to-day operations, and that is why we need to speed up our collections. We discussed yesterday about lock boxes, concentration banking. We discussed that how you can delay your payments, how EDI, electronic data interchange, is useful these days for speeding up your cash collections. What is the optimal cash balance that a company should manage? We try to understand this, and we discussed about that where the surplus fund is supposed to be invested, what kind of fund is supposed to be invested. We discussed that the entire cash available with the company can be divided into three categories: the ready cash segment, where they used to keep this cash segment for to meet some unanticipated operational requirements; controllable cash segment, where a cash outflow is known to the company and the company would like to make payment for those known outflows, that is controllable cash segment. And the remaining one out of the three, the remaining one, that is free cash segment, that is a surplus fund which is not being planned to invest anywhere, which is available with the company, that can be invested in short-term capital, short-term assets to generate more and more income as an interest income. So what we need to, this is from where we need to start our today's session. We will see what we need to keep in mind before investing options. So first of all, whatever surplus fund you are investing, try to find out these things in your investment options. It can be anything, maybe government securities, government bonds, some another company. This is what we are discussing actually. We're discussing that what criteria we should keep in mind before evaluating the investments. So first comes safety. You are investing your surplus fund, but whatever investment options you have selected, is it safe enough to invest that in that respective option? For example, majority of the companies who are looking for short-term investment options, they used to go for bank FDs or government securities, which are liquid also. Liquidity is also a concern. You should not invest in any kind of asset which is not liquid. Whenever you need a cash, that marketable security should not be, if not get converted into cash, then it is not good to invest. Return, that is yield, what amount you are going to earn in the form of return on investment, ROI, becomes important. And maturity, what is the maturity period? Investing in a long term, If you have short-term surplus fund on hand and you're investing in a long-term assets, will put you in trouble because the fund will not be available when it is required by you, as it is a long-term asset. And in the same way, your long-term fund should not be invested in short-term assets, or else you will have to verify or refind again some research, some more investment options once it is matured. So these are the four criteria that you should keep in mind before investment. One is safety, second is liquidity, third is return on investment or yield, you can say, and the fourth is maturity. These are the various investment options available to the corporate houses. So these are the investment options available with the bank, with the corporate houses. Fixed deposit with the banks. So it can be fixed deposits of 7 days to 5 years, 7 years, generally available with the bank. So company can identify the requirement, their need, till what time their fund is available with them, the surplus fund is not being used. So company can go for accordingly for a fixed deposit. They can earn a certain rate of interest on those respective fixed deposit amounts. If company is not looking for fixed deposits and still is looking for a safer return, safer investment, then treasury bills are available. Treasury bills are generally available of 90 days, 180 days, and 365 days. So depending on company's need, company can go for any of the T-bills. Now T-bills are the government securities considered the most safest investment avenues or options available in the country. So company can look out for these respective options also. There are many mutual fund schemes. There are many money market schemes where company can invest their respective amount, surplus amount with them. Can be able to earn a good return on those compared to your fixed deposits and treasury bills. So if you'll see these first two options, they are less riskier compared to this one, mutual fund schemes. As mutual fund schemes are majority depending on stock markets. If stock market do not perform good on a certain day, your total valuation of a portfolio will come down. So mutual fund schemes are a bit riskier compared to the previous two. Money market schemes basically come for a period of less than 1 year. It can be for a minimum of 15 days to 1 year. Maybe it can be of 1 day also, which is known as call money. So any investment opportunities being invested in money market schemes are also good. They are available for a shorter duration of 1 year or less than that. Commercial papers, company can invest in commercial paper of other companies. Company can also go for certificate of deposit, intercorporate deposit, etc. So these are the various investment opportunities that. So ready forwards and bill discountings are the another option. So these are the various investment options that a company or a corporate house can look for. Out of this, many of the options are short term as well as secured ones. So risk is comparatively less. Losing money in certain schemes is quite lesser compared to investing in some another kind of assets where you can invest in real estate, where you can invest in the equity market, etc. So real estate have a lock-in period. Somewhere lock-in also can be applicable. You, the liquidity will be comparatively less. You will see all these deposits, they are highly liquid, as we had seen earlier in the earlier slide, that what kind of criteria we should look for investing in various investment options. What are the surplus fund that remains with us or remains with the company should be invested by keeping all these four criteria. So we will apply these four criteria. All these four criteria are available. They are safe. They are available for liquidity. They are having a good return comparatively, and the maturity is more of the cases is less than 1 year. That means all these investment options are for a shorter duration. So company can invest in all such kind of assets right from 1 day to 1 year is the maturity period of all these respective options. So what we need to think about. That is elements of cash and liquidity management. What are the elements? First, the collection. The firm must accelerate the receipts into available funds. See, if we talk about cash management is all managing or bringing the cash back from the market to company and making a payment, which reduces the cash balance also. So first it comes collection. Majority of the company used to sell on credit basis, which create debtors. So if debtors should be get converted into cash as early as possible. The debtor conversion period should not be very high. Conversion of debtor from debtor to account receivables or converting account receivable to cash should be very speedy. Less number of days should be required in that. That is a good sign for a company that companies most of the amount that is out in the market is getting collected in an easy way. Disbursement. The firm must control the release and timing of funds. See, definitely, if your cash receivable period is too high, account receivable period is too high, and your firm's account payable period is too less, then there will be a gap, negative gap, because you are paying early and you are receiving late. That will create a cash crunch in a company. So better you should release the funds according to the time that is being decided on in the terms and conditions with the suppliers. Concentration. The firm must inexpensively mobilize funds from outlying banks to single location for their efficient use. Your fund should not be diversified. A certain amount is in bank A, than in bank B and bank C, and number of areas. If you can bring all them back together in one single place, you can be able to use them efficiently. Investment. The firm must maximize yield within acceptable limits of risk and maturity. As we discussed earlier, that the firm should invest in such kind of options which are liquid, which are less risky, and which gives you a good return in a certain period of time. So, looking to your various risk criteria, looking to your maturity period, your surplus amount of money should be invested in such a way that it maximizes your returns. Information and control. The firm must develop reliable short-term cash forecast and obtain accurate timely data on bank balance, bank deposits, and so on. So firm should have to develop a reliable short-term cash forecast. Short-term cash forecast should be reliable, should be almost correct, nearby. The probability should be more high of getting it correct, getting it accurate. And company should collect all the data as far as bank balance is considered, cash balance is considered, bank deposit, etc. considered. The company should get data in a right time and can be able to take decision in a right direction with the help of that. We are going to discuss two models, cash management models, how to manage cash. Several cash management models have addressed this issue of a split between marketable securities and cash holdings. And the two such models are Baumol model and Miller and Orr model. We are going to discuss these two models. These two models will help us to understand what amount of cash a company should hold and what amount of cash company should be investing anywhere or spending or keeping in reserves, etc. So these are the two models, Baumol model and Miller and Orr model. Let's see what Baumol model says. William J. Baumol developed a model which is usually used in inventory management but has its application in determining the optimal cash balance also. See friends, you are not studying production operation management, it will be in your semester 8. So there is a model named as EOQ, Economic Order Quantity Model. This model is also applicable in managing cash management. And this model tells you that what amount of cash you should hold on hand. So EOQ is an inventory management which involves between the trade-off between carrying cost and ordering cost. The optimal cash balance is a trade-off between opportunity cost, or you can say cost of borrowing or holding cash, and the transaction cost. The optimal cash balance is reached at a point where the total cost is minimum. So if you'll see this diagram, these are the assumptions. We'll come to the assumptions. Okay, there's no diagram. So the assumptions are the cash needs the firm are known with certainty. If you'll see the diagram, I can show the diagram. Yesterday we discussed the diagram. So this is how optimal cash balance can be identified. So this is what the diagram is of Baumol model also. So Baumol model assumptions are the cash needs of the firm are known with certainty. So Baumol model assumes that the company is well aware with how much cash is required at what point of time. The cash disbursement or usage of the firm occurs uniformly over a period of time and is known also with certainty. The company knows two things: what cash is required at what time and what cash is about to pay a payment at what time, and what amount we need to pay is known to the company. The opportunity cost of holding is known and it remains constant. The opportunity cost of holding cash. If you are holding cash on hand, let's say you have 100 rupees in hand and you can invest it in a bank and can generate 3.5% interest on that 100 rupees for 1 year. But you forego that 3.5 rupees as 3.5% is the rate of interest in the banks. So you are well aware with what your cost of holding cash is. Discussing about the cash holding cash and the opportunity cost is constant. The transaction cost of converting securities into cash is known and remains constant also. So what amount of transaction cost? See, because when you're converting something into cash, you have some cost incurred. So knowing all these costs, am I not audible to all of you? Am I enough audible to all of you?
क्या पढ़ी हुई ट्रिमर डाटी करी हो तो
Sorry?
yeah
Am I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello. Am I audible now to all of you? There is no issues
No,
in
sir.
audio. Am I right?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
मेरी आवाज आ रही है आप सब तक?
Yes, sir.
प्रशांत आवाज आ रही है बेटा? प्रशांत है? प्रशांत का मैसेज था, सुनाई नहीं दे रहा है बोल के. ओके गुड. मैं वापस आप लोगों को म्यूट मोड में डाल देता हूं. अगर कोई इश्यू है तो मुझे मैसेज कर देना, तुरंत दिख जाएगा यहाँ पे. So the transaction cost of converting securities into cash is known to the company and it is constant. It not changes alternatively. It remains same. So this is the assumption of a Baumol model. This is how this model calculates the requirement of cash. C is the amount of marketable securities converted into cash per order. I stands for interest rate per planning period or investment in marketable securities. T is nothing but it is the projected cash requirement during the planning period. B is the amount that you are investing is a constant. So this is what the Baumol model talks about. This is how you can calculate what amount you need to invest and can be converted into cash per order. The second model, Miller and the Orr model. The Miller and Orr model of cash management is developed for business with uncertain cash inflows and outflows. Now keep in mind, the Baumol model says that the cash inflow and cash outflow is known to the company, is certain and is known. Whereas Miller and Orr model says that the cash inflow and cash outflow is uncertain. That is not known to the company. What amount of cash will be required today or tomorrow is not known to the company. What amount of cash will be received today or tomorrow is not known to the company. This approach allows lower and upper limits of cash balance and determine the return point. So because you do not know what amount of cash inflow or outflow will be there on a certain day, you have to go with two kinds of limit, upper limit and the lower limit, maximum amount that can be required or the minimum amount that can be required. And along with their upper and lower limit, you should have a target cash balance also, which is known as the return point in this model. So that is the minimum amount that you should maintain every time. It will be somewhere in between your upper level and lower level. This is different from Baumol-Tobin model, which is based on the assumption that cash pending rate is constant. See, this is what I said you earlier, that if you see here, uncertain cash inflows and outflows. When you'll go back to the Baumol model, it says that the cash balance is known to the company. The cash balances, these are the assumptions. Cash need of the firm are known to the company. So that is, here it is quite opposite to it. It says it is uncertain. The company do not know what amount of cash requirement will be there, inflows and outflows. So these are the assumptions of Miller and Orr model. Each day a business may have both different cash payment and different cash receipts. Yes, company may have to pay a certain amount. Company may receive or may not receive any cash amount also. So there can be a huge diversified requirement of funds may occur on a day-to-day basis. The daily cash balance occurs randomly. It is not like that today we need 100, so tomorrow we'll need a 10% more or less. No, it may be 20% more, 10% less. It may be 30% more, 20% less, or vice versa. So daily cash balance occurs randomly. There is possibility to invest idle cash in the marketable securities. So if you have any idle cash with you, any surplus fund that remains with you on hand, you can invest these cash in convertible marketable securities. That means marketable securities are the securities which can be converted easily into cash. At any point of time, you need to sell these assets, you can sell them off. There is a transaction fee when marketable securities are bought or sold. So whenever you are buying or you are selling, see, when you have an idle cash on hand, you will buy securities, and when you need cash, you will sell securities. So when you are buying and when you are selling this kind of cash, this kind of securities, every time you are incurring certain costs. So this is known as transaction fee. A business maintains the minimum acceptable cash balance, which is known as the lower limit. So a business maintains a minimum cash balance. This minimum cash balance is known as the lower limit. See, this is how the diagram looks like. You will see here, this is a lower limit defined, this is a upper limit defined. When you reach here, it's a lower limit, and you need to manage cash and come back to the return point, target cash balance. This is a target cash balance of the company. Company would like to maintain at least this much balance, but in certain case, company may reach up to this respective point. This is known as the lower limit. This is the upper limit. This is the maximum cash limit that a company is looking for. So anything above this cash limit can be invested easily. Okay, and if you are looking to this point, if you are reaching to this point, you can invest your cash and you can come back to this return point. So if you are going down, you need to come back to your return point. If you are going up, you need to come back to your return point. So this is how this Miller and Orr model describes your cash requirement on a day-to-day basis. This is the method of calculating cash requirement or return point. How will identify that what will be my return point. So this is the model, this is the methodology with the help of which you can be able to calculate your return point. So B is a fixed cost per order for converting marketable securities into cash. I stands for daily interest rate, that is this one. I stands for daily interest rate earned on marketable securities. This is the variance of daily changes in expected cash balance. LL stands for lower limit. RP is return point. UL is upper limit, is 3 times return point minus 2 times lower level. So that will be your upper level. And this is how you can be able to calculate your return point as well as upper level of cash requirement. this is all about these two models. Baumol model, which discusses, which is applicable when cash flow is known to you, where company is knowing what is its cash requirement. Whereas Miller and Orr model is applicable where cash inflow and cash outflow is not known to the company. These are two models used in two different ways. Baumol model is actually a EOQ model, economic order quantity model, which is applied on the requirement of cash also. In the this is the Miller and Orr model is clearly a cash management model. So this is all about this chapter, cash and liquidity management. So if we sum up this entire chapter, there are three possible motives for holding cash, which is transaction motive, where you need money for day-to-day businesses; precautionary motive, to meet certain uncertain events that happens in your day-to-day life; speculative motive, to earn more cash in shorter period of time. These are three reasons why people or companies would like to hold money. The principal method of short-term cash forecasting is receipt and payment method. We discussed that, where you make a estimated cash inflow and estimated cash outflow, and the difference between both becomes your net cash flow plus opening balance, becomes your receipt and payment method. The method generally used for long-term forecasting is adjusted income method. Now, long-term forecasting is generally for 2 years to 5 years. So in that case, it's not a day-to-day cash balance is supposed to be managed. We used to start it calculating from your net income after taxes, and then we add various cash receivables and we deduct various cash payables. That adding opening balance of cash of the year will become your total requirement of cash in that respective time frame. To enhance the efficiency of cash management, collections and disbursements must be properly managed or monitored. Yes, if you want to manage your cash in a very proper way, very in a right way, you should focus more on collections and disbursements. Collection should be more speedy compared to disbursement. Then only you can be able to manage your cash in a proper way. A variety of options are there for investing surplus fund available for shorter periods. Today we discussed and we've seen various investment options like fixed deposits, T-bills, discounting of bill ready forwards, money market schemes, and mutual fund schemes, various schemes we have discussed about. So all these schemes are of a shorter duration, so that can be used to invest your surplus fund for a shorter period. Baumol has proposed a model which applies the EOQ, economic order quantity concept, to determine the cash conversion size, whereas expanding on the Baumol model, Miller and Orr consider a stochastic generating process for periodic changes in cash balance. One more thing to remember, that Baumol model talks about the cash flow is known to the company, cash inflow and cash outflow both, whereas the Miller and Orr model discusses about cash inflow and outflow is not known to the company, that at that point of time this model can be applied, where you will be talking about the upper limit maximum amount that a company should hold in a form of a cash, lower limit minimum amount that a company should hold in a cash, and if you are on these two boundaries, maximum and upper level and lower level, you can set a return point. If you have more cash on your hand, you are on the upper point, upper level, you can invest that respective fund and you can come back to your return point. If you have a lower level of fund available, you infuse more cash into your business and come to the return point. So this is how this entire chapter discusses about cash management, cash and liquidity management. If you have any queries, we can be able to take your queries now.